One of the things that I really like about East Asian countries like Japan, Korea, and Taiwan is that they often write place names in each other's language. So you would often see the names of train stations written in Japanese, Chinese, and Korean in addition to English. But an interesting question is how these names are written. Because you see, almost every place in East Asia, in Vietnam, China, Taiwan, Korea, and Japan, can be written with Chinese characters, with some exceptions. And at the same time, almost every Chinese character has a way of being pronounced, not only in the various Chinese languages, but also in Korean, Japanese, and Vietnamese. So all these places in Vietnam, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, and China could be pronounced in different ways in Korean, Japanese, Chinese, and Vietnamese. But does that actually happen? It happens a lot in Mandarin. So it is very standard in Chinese to pronounce Tokyo as Dongjing, because that's how those two characters are pronounced in Mandarin, or to pronounce Kyoto as Jingdu. But I wonder if Korean, Japanese, and Vietnamese do the same thing, and whether they should do the same thing or not. So I'm now in Taipei, where every metro station name is written in Chinese Hanzi, in Japanese Kanji, in Hangul, and in a Romanized version, which is usually a transliteration and sometimes an English translation. Now, let's take one example to see how these names are written. There's a place called Beitou, which has two characters that literally mean north throw. These characters in Japanese could be pronounced Hokto, and in Korean they could be pronounced Buktu. But if we look at the name on the plate, it doesn't say Buktu in Korean, but it says Beitou, which is basically the way that the characters are pronounced in Mandarin. So this is not a translation, but it is a transliteration. And of course, in English, it is also written as a transliteration, but that is because Chinese characters don't have a way of being pronounced in English, but in Korean, they have a way of being pronounced. So I wonder, do you think that the place name in Korean should be written as Buktu, or do you think it's better to write it as Beitou? I understand that nobody in Taiwan calls Beitou Buktu, and so if a Korean tourist asks where is Buktu, local people wouldn't know how to answer that. But at the same time, nobody in Japan calls Tokyo Dongjing, and so if a Chinese person asks a local Japanese where is Dongjing, they wouldn't know the answer either. Personally, I think it's really cool that East Asian countries have this shared writing system where these characters have a way of being pronounced in all these various languages, and I think it would be really nice to see if these place names were actually written and pronounced in the way that these Chinese characters are pronounced in each language, especially from a historical point of view, from a cultural point of view. I think that would be really, really cool. But let me know what you think about it in the comments.